Alrighty, I think this is full ridge full pitch number 5. Currently not flying something that has a mixture, but it still rhymes, so we'll stick with it. Been a minute since flight school.
That's the false glide. You see that glide slope going through there?
Yeah. Now we're out here in the great vast Arctic of Alaska. Doing some pretty cool jobs. It's beautiful. But today we're going to talk about something not quite as scenic, and that is flying IFR in an R22. And I know what you're thinking. Josh, that's illegal. You can't fly IFR in a 22.
Clear to the Corvallis Airport via Newburgh, that as filed.
Yes and no. If we're talking about flying in IMC conditions, 100% illegal. That aircraft is only certified for day VFR and night VFR with special limitations on the night. Is not certified to go into any sort of IMC conditions. But how do I meet the requirements for the Part 61 filing and flying an IFR flight plan? So here's where the difference between flying IFR and flying in IMC comes from. If you're flying in IMC, that means you're in instrument meteorological conditions. You don't have outside visual reference. Flying IFR can also be done in VMC conditions, and that's just flying under the rules of instrument flight.
Helicopter 75 Tango showing it at 3,100, maintain 3,200. The Eugene altimeter is 3005.
To meet those requirements, what you can do is you can file and open flight plans in a Robinson R22. Here's the catch. You cannot go into instrument meteorological conditions because the aircraft isn't certified for it. Generally speaking, you're going to want to do this on a day that is bluebird and there's no chance of you going into a cloud.
Still at 5,000, look good, 80 knots. Climbing a little bit, so I'm going to speed up just a hair.
What if it's not totally bluebird? You think you can make it VMC, but you're not totally sure. Can you still file and fly? Yeah, you can do that, but you still can't fly into a cloud. Things you don't want to do. You can't file an IFR flight plan and then argue with ATC about how you can't go into IMC conditions. ATC doesn't care what you're in. If you're on an IFR flight plan, you have to follow their clearances. So in order to not disobey an ATC clearance and not fly into IMC conditions on an IFR flight plan, what do you do?
3055 November would like to cancel our IFR and pick up VFR flight following.
3055 November, roger. IFR cancellations received and remain present beacon code for VFR flight following.
Cancel IFR and you go back to VFR flight rules. Then you're still meeting the requirement of Part 61 where it says you file a flight plan and fly with direct routing from ATC because you're still following their instructions. You're just not restricted on altitude anymore, and you can see and avoid traffic and clouds. These next clips are from when my brother and I filed a flight plan and flew from McMinnville to Corvallis and on to Eugene. This was his first full IFR flight plan during his initial instrument training way back in the day. So when you're doing this type of flight, you're following both sets of rules. You're following instrument flight rules with a filed and opened IFR flight plan, and following assigned ATC altitudes and clearances. You're also following visual flight rules whenever you're in VMC conditions with a safety pilot looking outside, and that's how you meet the requirement of Part 61 there.
Clearance delivery, helicopter November 575 Tango is on the ground in McMinnville and would like IFR clearance to Corvallis.
Helicopter 575 Tango, port and clearance. Clear to the Corvallis Airport via Newburgh, that as filed. I maintain 4,000, expect 5,000, 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.0, block 4733, hold for release.
Helicopter November 575 Tango, clear to Corvallis via Newburgh, then as filed, climb and maintain 4,000, expect 5,000 in 5 minutes, frequency 126.0, and squawk 4733.
Helicopter 575 Tango, repack is correct, hold for release. Say runway you plan on departing and about how long is you ready?
November 575 Tango, port on departure, identify climb and maintain 5,000.
4,700 for 5,000.
November 575 Tango, turn right direct to Adlo, maintain 5,000.
Direct ADLO, maintain 5,000, 75 Tango. Cascade approach, helicopter November 575 Tango is level 5,000.
November 575 Tango, Cascade approach, Eugene altimeter 3004, and say approach request into Corvallis, verify you have the weather.
Helicopter November 575 Tango, request the VR17 into Corvallis and a frequency change for the weather.
November 575 Tango, roger, and will this be a full stop?
We'd like a missed approach and then onto Eugene if possible, 75 Tango.
Helicopter 575 Tango, roger. Fly present heading, intercept the final approach course for the VOR runway 17 at Corvallis Airport. Descend, maintain 4,000.
Descend, maintain 4,000. Current heading, intercept the VOR 17 Corvallis, 75 Tango.
Nice.
75 Tango, frequency change approved. Report back with the weather at Corvallis.
Frequency change approved. We'll report back with the weather, 75 Tango. Alright, we got
Switch it over.
135, 775. Okay.
Heading to the...
B006.
Just a little bit, we're going to go into VLOC mode now.
Corvallis Municipal Airport, automated weather observation, 1458, Zulu, wind 310 at 07, visibility 10, sky condition clear, temperature 12 Celsius, dew point 09er Celsius, altimeter 3006.
3006. Cascade approach, helicopter November 575 Tango has the weather in Corvallis.
Helicopter 575 Tango, roger. You are 1 mile from ADLO, cross ADLO, at or above 4,000, cleared VOR, runway 17, approach Corvallis Airport.
Cleared for VOR 17, cross ADLO, at or above 4,000, 75 Tango.
This is his kind of amendment to the plate. The plate gives you a minimum altitude of 3,000. He said at or above 4,000. But then we are cleared for the approach. So now, after ADLO, we can descend down to 25.
And we're just doing step downs. Alright, crossed ADLO, descending to 2,500.
Number 575 Tango, you report on the published mist, this frequency on the go. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved. We'll call back on the mist, 75 Tango.
Cross traffic, helicopter 75 Tango. This is 9 miles to the north on the VOR 17 approach straight in, low approach, traffic permitting. Corvallis.
After Chepo, final approach fix, we can descend to 1,100 for set new. Cascade approach, helicopter November 575 Tango is coming missed off CVO, climbing through 1,700.
Helicopter 575 Tango, Cascade approach. Eugene altimeter 3004, ident.
Ident, 75 Tango.
75 Tango, radar contact 1 mile east Corvallis Airport, climb maintain 4,000.
Climb maintain 4,000, 75 Tango.
Helicopter 75 Tango, descend maintain 3,200.
75 Tango, descend maintain 3,200.
Helicopter 75 Tango, you're 6 miles from the final approach fix, turn right heading 300, maintain 3,200 until established third RNAV Yankee, runway 34 right approach.
Runway 34 right approach, maintain 3,200, right turn to 300.
Helicopter 75 Tango, contact tower 118.9er.
Sweet.
We'll contact tower 118.9er, 75 Tango. Eugene Tower, helicopter November 575 Tango, it's on the RNAV 34 right.
Helicopter 575 Tango, Eugene Tower, wind 3307, runway 34 right, clear to land.
Clear to land 34 right, 75 Tango. 1,120, there's my altitude to the next.
And we can...
Number 75 Tango, taxi via Romeo to the ramp, this frequency.
Taxi via Romeo to the ramp, this frequency, 75 Tango.
There's a big hole in the general instructor routine for instrument flight training in helicopters. Most people are doing they're training in a light helicopter such as a Robinson, Eric Cabri, or a Schweitzer. Those machines aren't certified for IFR, but you're still able to get those instrument ratings, which is an amazing thing that we can do here in the US, that we are able to use light trainers to fly simulated instrument and get our instrument ratings. A big gap in that is that not a lot of instructors are actually having their students get on with ATC consistently and understand the IFR system. So it's super important if you're an instructor that you're taking your students when you're doing these instrument flights and you're getting them to get on with ATC, and then students when you're out there doing your instrument rating, make sure you're making an effort to do those ATC communications. Don't rely on your instructor to do all the talking for you. It's not hard at all. You get on with ATC, they tell you where to go, what to do, and then you just sit back and listen and follow instructions. Definitely try to, when the weather's good and you can do it, try to file and fly IFR flight plans as much as you possibly can. That being said, there is also huge benefit to flying instrument practice approaches. You can save a lot of time and money for the student by you acting as ATC and being efficient, as long as you're not, getting in the way of actual IFR traffic.
Turn 4346 Delta. I've got a helicopter IFR inbound to Corvallis on 17 straight in, so I'm going to have to withhold your clearance until you're just a couple miles away from Corvallis Airport. I can still get you that clearance, though.
And I know what you guys are thinking. I don't want to fly instrument. I just want to be on some mountaintop in Alaska, sipping my coffee next to a brand new blacked out A-Star, just waiting to go pick people up, living the dream, doing the tow-ins, doing the long lining, doing the heli ski, and you'll be there before you know it. It is amazing. But we need to get rid of the negative mindset around instrument training. The knowledge and skills you learn going through that training is invaluable to your career, regardless of what type of flying you end up doing. It makes you a more marketable pilot. It makes you more insurable, so a lot of jobs won't even consider hiring you if you don't have your instrument rating. It makes you a more well-rounded operator. You can control the aircraft better, you know the airspace system better, and it could save your life. Thankfully, I've never gotten myself into any sketchy IMC conditions where I've needed to fully rely on the instruments, but I've known a lot of very, very experienced and very skilled pilots that have gotten into those situations, and being able to remain calm and lock in on the instruments has saved their life, and they've been able to fly back into VMC conditions and get the machine safely on the ground. So if you're in flight school and you're contemplating whether or not you should even get an instrument rating, I would advise you do not skip the instrument rating. It is so valuable, and it really shouldn't cost you any more than going straight to commercial. There's a lot of time between getting your private rating and building the PIC time you need to take your commercial check ride to where you should be able to knock out an instrument rating. Now, I get the 22 does have weight and balance restrictions, and so for a lot of folks, they're going to have to fly something with a little more power like an R44. But if you're able to do your private in a 22, you should be able to do your instrument in the 22. The instrumentation nowadays really isn't that heavy, so unless you're really high altitude, the instruments themselves shouldn't be a limiting factor. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I may or may not make some more videos. We'll see what comes.